Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I ask all to remain standing, please, for a longtime resident, served on boards, commissions, was our city sewer inspector for many, many years. Mr. Willie, you guys know him as Bill Westmoreland. Just a moment of silence for him, he passed. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Williams here, Member Luna.
Here.
Member Sanders. Here. Member Long.
Here.
Member Steve. Here.
All right. We're gonna move right around the public hearing that hasn't had proper advertisement. We're gonna move down to item number 6. Department head reports.
Minutes.
Minutes. My bad, I got that item.
You're skipping too fast.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna act on those. So minutes from the previous minute, my motion for approval.
Make a motion.
I second that.
Call for the roll.
Member Williams.
Aye.
Member Luna.
Aye.
Member Sanders. Aye. Member Long.
Aye.
Member Castillo.
Aye.
Sorry about that. I'm not in a hurry, really. We'll move down to item number 6 as our department head reports. I'll start with Dwayne, our street superintendent, since he was here first. I saw you in there when I pulled it.
Well, good evening, council members. This is I've submitted one for the last meeting that didn't happen, but these are copies of it, but this is kind of the same thing, but a little bit of adjustments to it that's happened.
Dwayne,
The chipper is back in from being repaired. The oil pump on the engine had gone bad. It required the motor to be removed from the unit and the oil pump replaced and the engine reinstalled. Cost of the repair was $5,917. Well, invite you to the place where they make it. Crack sealing streets have ended for now. We sealed 4.17 lane miles of streets and the machine has been returned. Painted the curbs on Central from Pike Street to the Point, painted the guardrail at the Point as well. Installed new signs at the Point since the old ones were not up to the MUTCD traffic manual. Once again, yard waste green cans. Please share with the constituents that the green cans are for vegetation, grass, leaves, small sticks, 3/4 diameter and smaller. Please do not put any garbage, plastic, dirt, rocks, asphalt, landscaping fabric, landscaping timbers, etc. in the green can. I have recently experienced an increase in garbage mix in the yard waste entering the compost yard. And I continue to do that because I'm the one that pushes up the pile after the rear loader dumps it. I've instructed the laborers that are on the rear loader, pick it out. When you dump the can in the hopper, pick it out when you dump the truck. But even then, when you still push it, there's a lot of garbage that ends up in it. It needs to stop because it's a clear violation of the IDEM compost permit. The large green tractor is now fixed. I mowed around Grand Boulevard Lake and then started in zone 4 and will continue to work my way east into zone 3 and so on. I didn't finish 35th Avenue, but I did from 65 down to almost Minnesota Street, but I still got a little section there to do. And then I'll skip to the 36th and then go over to Indiana, off of Indiana at Will's piece, and come back around and hit zones 3, 2, and then 1 as I progress. So the salt barn is in desperate need of new metal siding. Large gaping holes have been allowing rainwater to enter into the salt. We currently have done the 2 long sides and we'll be back to finish the back walls as soon as time permits. The sidewalls had the most damage from salt, so we addressed them first. Adrian, do you still got a picture of that? I sure do. So that's what it was beforehand. Pretty much we cut off about 4 feet up but the salt has touched it so much, it just is rotted. And we have to seal the barn because you can't allow rainwater to touch your salt, even though we put salt on the ground to, you know, stop ice from building up. So we've done the two long sides. And I gotta do the one back wall, but the back wall has been hit so many times from the inside and out that the wall is no longer straight. It's barely resting on the foundation itself. I have to put it back in, line on the foundation, secure it, and then put the siding over the top or over that to stop the rainwater from getting in. Okay, you got a picture of how there's started. You have the other one showing the one side being done. It's done right there.
There we go.
So
It looks great.
looks a lot.
Hey, Adrian. Adrian, turn it towards the audience just slightly so they can see what we're looking at. You guys see out there?
Good. It's getting there. Small improvements for what we can.
The
Garbage truck A4 is back from repairs and in service. All four tires on the blue rear loader have been replaced. We purchased them at a cost of $2,952. And currently awaiting install, which they were just installed yesterday. So I should have corrected that. The front steer tires on sidearm A5 and rear loader R2 have been replaced at a cost of $1,276. The rear loader R2 had the PTO go out and is sent off for repairs. I don't know what the cost on that's gonna be. The PTO went out a year ago. And hopefully it's under warranty, the pump itself. The guy that we took it to said the pump should be under warranty. Now he's in the process of locating one. So. Get that back, and it's not too bad of a cost. Speak up. Speak up. Hopefully everybody can hear me. That was the end of this report. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Hey, Dwayne, two things.
Yes, sir.
I wrote them down here. Your guys are picking garbage out of the green cans. Cause I was sitting on my front porch having coffee the other day and they picked a pop can out of my green can and put it in my brown can for me. I didn't put it in there. Somebody else did walking up the street.
Okay.
So they are doing it.
I'll let them know to instruct.
Yeah, yeah.
Ticket your can
Yeah. Hey,
for a violation of the green can rule, and
hey, once it's in the street, I got no control over it.
I've been submitting this to you for months now.
You're funny. Hey, one other thing.
Yes,
Our friend on Utah Street said she come running out of the house when you came by with the side cutter. She wanted to thank you. She called me to tell me to thank you. So
Okay.
thank you.
also be mindful of the sidearm because I'm so far behind with that. I'm only trying to make one pass, but in certain
Sure.
areas such as 35th, when you come underneath the bridge into
Yeah.
the station, I
bad.
try to open that up so that people can see, because I constantly get dumping. Even though it's posted, I constantly get dumping. So if I
Yeah.
open it up, it's more visual. I hope it limits it. It seems to slow it down sometimes. But it looks nicer actually when you make two passes.
Yeah.
So I try to do that, but I got a lot of catching up.
And Jesse Pedrosa says he can see his mailbox now.
Oh, I like Justin.
Yeah.
He's usually out every time I'm over there. He wasn't this time. I hope
Yeah.
he's doing well.
He stopped by the house and he appreciates you cutting back around because he's not feeling too good. So,
That's Malone.
yes. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
On, when you're going south on Union, you turn on 29th Avenue.
Yeah,
People are complaining that they can't see the two stop signs because they're overgo onto the street.
okay, so I've seen on Union Street, the stop sign you come up to, which I plan on hitting that when I get into zone 1. I'm also gonna do the other side of 29th Avenue before the stop sign at Vermillion, I believe it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then,
But that is unincorporated, or that's over township per se.
well, it's on it would be the north side of 29th Avenue. When you're coming up, you can't see the stop sign.
From county line coming,
No, coming from Union to go to county line.
yeah.
You
that's-
can't see that stop sign
The
and then
south side, the
two
south,
stop signs.
the south side could be swung by past there the other day. I'll cut it. I'm just letting you know it is county. So in case somebody was to call and say, oh, why is the city cutting county? Well, it is a stop sign and people need to stop for it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I got that on my list.
okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dwayne.
Hmm?
Thank you, Dwayne. Public comment, public statements? You're up during public statements, Mr. Williams. You don't have to help him. He's all right. Chuck, you got a report to read to us?
Yes, I do.
Come on up, brother.
Want me to come up?
Paul. Yeah.
I think my.
Oh, you bashful or something?
Oh, it's all hurt the other day.
That's because you're old.
Still, only yours.
Our Fire Chief Chuck Fazekas.
Good evening, citizens, councils, my report. Residential fires, we had 2. Vehicle fires, we had 2. Severe weather calls, we had 10. Smoking building 1. Rubbish fires 1. Assist ambulance 37. Rescue calls 10. Carbon monoxide calls 2. Assist civilian 3. Assist to another city 21. Natural gas leaks 2. Utility calls 6. Hazmat calls 1. Fire alarms 2. Disregard calls 2. And false alarms 3. Total calls for fire for the month were 105. Total EMS calls were 162. Total calls were 267 for the month. 9.5 man hours per call. Total man hours for the month was 909.1 hour. We did 1 investigation for 1 hour, and then we had 1 civilian injury from a fire, and we also had 1 firefighter fired. We still are doing our monthly minute clinic with the hospital. We had a pretty good turnout last month. We will be putting that out again. I will get with Adrian to have that out in 1 call to the citizens again. Again, this there's doctors there and everything. If somebody's in between medications on their Medicare plans for prescriptions, they're there to assist with that, and they can help get you out of that bubble. Got any ailments or anything, they're there for you. And it's no charge to nobody, it's all free. So we're getting ready to run 18 or 22 new firemen starting the end of this month. We'll be training them. And yeah, so I am gonna need fun here again. So thank you.
Anybody have questions for Fire Chief Chuck?
I do.
What's the date of the clinic?
I don't know the date this month. We're kind of throwing that around depending on weather, what how the weather's been and everything. So as soon as I get that, I'll get an email out to all of you.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody in the audience understand what that is that they're doing at the station? Free clinic, they'll take your blood pressure, they'll take your blood, take your chest, your sugar, listen to your heart. I mean, they'll work with you if you've got something going on, especially if you're uninsured. I stopped at one of the first ones they had over there, and they started poking and prodding. They seen an old man walk in. They just started grabbing me and started doing these things. Whoa, that's cool. I just come to see what was going on. But they're pretty thorough. They really are. The doctor is really nice. I sat and talked with him for 3 or 4 minutes. He's a good guy.
And then too, sometimes too, and I think the last one we had, we do have dentists that come in as well. So I'll put that out when the dentists are gonna be there. We'll put that out too, but it's free of charge. Anybody has to help the community, so.
It's a good idea to have that. Adrian, Chief of Staff, Adrian Vera.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? So just a couple of quick announcements, and then Dwayne and myself are gonna do a little presentation up here. I touched base with you guys a little bit the last time we had a council meeting. I talked a little bit about the sewer force main project. So we are gonna show you guys a little bit more and dig into that a little further. But beforehand, I wanted to make a couple quick announcements. This year's 2026 road paving grants, Milestone, which you got before Milestone won the bid for that, and they're looking to probably start paving at the beginning of next month. So they're shooting for the beginning of August to start paving some of those streets. We have another fall soccer league going to be starting up again, hosted by the Portage Soccer Club. And have you guys seen, they ran some games this late spring and early summer over at Riverview Park. And there'll be some more games going on starting August 8th. So, I'm sorry, August 9th. August 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, the 30th, September 13th, 20th, 27th, and October 4th. You guys will see some games going on at Riverview Park and at Warwick Park as well. They are still accepting signups, so if anyone's interested in signing up their kids to play some soccer, all you gotta do is go to the PortageYouthSoccerClub.com, PortageYouthSoccerClub.com. And also, Calumet Region Little League, they're gonna do a fall league as well. So that'll be starting about August 14th or 15th, right in the middle of the month. And that's gonna be going on over here at our fields as well. And they still have open registration as well. But I don't got a flyer for it yet, but when I do, I'm gonna share it to you guys. You guys help share it. So I think that's it. So I want to we had a great 4th of July parade. So I thank all the residents and good 4th of July holiday as well. And our covered bridge was looking good. I don't know if you guys seen, I had a red, white, and blue theme on there. And if you want to give another thanks to Kim and Paul Deaton, they actually donated those lights to us a couple years ago. So
Thank you, Deatons. You're good citizens. You know why they're so good? They come from my end of town.
so all right, now
Wait, can I ask him a question before he gets? into
Yeah,
this?
Adrian got a question for you.
Is there any way the city could put cones on Central and 51 going westbound before 51? Because it happened to us today and people are posting pictures. People are getting in the lane thinking they could turn in that turn lane and cars are going across to go westbound. They're gonna hit head on. Instead of just the solid lines, if they could put cones so they know they stay in one lane. It's
If they
gonna
had
be
an
really out of hand.
arrow too, because if you see a bunch of cones, you're trying to figure out where to turn.
Right,
At least if they had an arrow,
it's my turn.
I seen other people turn in front,
My-
sorry.
they do have, there's a sign right there that says keep right,
But it's not working.
but
Okay, so the sign ain't doing it, and all they gotta do is put the cones on the solid yellow lines they put down there. Because like I said, people are posting pictures where cars are coming head on to them, then they gotta stop, then it's all messed up, the people try making a left. And it's just out of hand, and then people are bad mouthing the city when we didn't set it up, but we should do something so nobody gets hurt. You know, cause the other way, they're using both lanes to make the left and right going westbound, so it's okay, but going eastbound, it's only one lane and they don't realize it, and they're going in the turning lane. Mainly when the light turns, they're getting the arrow and the green at the same time, so they're hitting that turning lane and people are crossing. It's crazy, man, crazy.
okay, yeah, we'll address it.
Okay.
You in contact regularly with NDOT on that?
With American Water.
That's their mess.
Yes.
I thought it was an extension of NDOT on the bridge and stuff. No. You know how you avoid that, Carlos? Just don't go that way. I go by the high school, go up from Marquette, you know. Anybody else? I know, it's tough. Anybody else? For Adrian? Go ahead, Adrian, with your presentation.
All right. You ready? All right, you ready?
I'll see that on our agenda.
It's part of my report.
Let me
Get
start.
closer.
That's part of it.
The item read.
Motion, we don't hear. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you can. It's all right. We have some excellent leaders for the city. As probably a couple people have been here since 2008, when the agreed order from IDEM came down the pipe. Mr. Long, you were here back then. Brenda, you were here. We were under an agreed order by IDEM since 2008, saying you're gonna do this, that, and the other thing. And you have to do monthly reports to IDEM. You have to just jump through a bunch of hoops. Well, that's when the city here, sought me out to come in and try to fix the situation. Which took many years of sealing up the sanitary sewer system, making many upgrades and changing out new pump or old pump stations with new pump stations, getting them on diaper systems and so forth. As of, it was this week, I want to say it was Monday, we received a letter from IDEM. We are no longer under the agreed order. which is a massive accomplishment. So. I mean,
Give me a copy. Give me a copy for the file in the office.
I gotta, yeah. So that's one thing. The other part, that's the positive part. The negative part is we do not want to get back under an agreed order. That's a big thing that we have to be very careful with being a city. And so what Adrian's gonna show is that we've converted from number one, we went all the way back to putting the line or sewer lines and manholes on a digital format. So people can go out with their phone or an iPad and locate the manholes digitally. We were one of the first cities in this area that actually was able to do that. Back in 2000, I think it was 12 when I did that. And a lot of communities were envious that we were doing this. If you click on the manhole or so forth, there's a drop-down menu. It tells you information as to what's the depth of the pipes inside that manhole underneath the ground. It's 10 foot, 8 foot, so forth, so on. That helps in promoting businesses that want to develop or build on a lot, saying, okay, the sewer is hypothetically 7 foot deep. I can design my sewer system to flow into that without having to put in a lift station, or I mean, have to put in a lift station because it's not deep enough. So this is a drop-down menu. There is still data to be gathered. The old machine that they used to use to gather the data is no longer in date. They will need to acquire another one in the future when it's capable of doing so. It's just setting up a tripod and measuring down and so forth and taking notes and then sending it off to have it put into the system. So the GIS system is basically supposed to be accessible by businesses and so forth. It's just like if you go on Lake County GIS, you can access the mapping system for Lake County and find out all kinds of information that you probably never knew about, where your property lines are and so forth. I also have been working for many years. I've worked on fixing pump stations, meaning replacing, rebuilding or so forth, but also the city sewer capacity was undersized and is undersized. Okay, so we stopped a good percentage of the infiltration coming into the system. There's still quite a bit. It's finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. Some pumps, if you catch that somebody has a sump pump hooked into the sanitary sewer, you ask them to disconnect because it's a violation of 1972 Clean Water Act, so on and so forth. But the minute you walk away, they may disconnect, but they'll probably reconnect. I don't know. But either way, you gotta have capacity in your system. We just got out from the agreed order, but we have potential developments. Okay? What we have here is, over here is the old airport for which the trailer park had purchased and want to put in something like 150 trailers. They would love to send the sewer to Lake Station. However, we don't have capacity. We also have a proposal. Can you switch it to the aged? Yeah, please. Historical imagery. Okay, and then off of Old Holbert Road is an area that some people have probably seen disturbed, the trees moved and so forth. Yep. They should have had a stormwater permit before they did that, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, following up, they're still wanting to do this development. However, we don't have capacity in our sewer system to support 60 homes, 50 homes. Okay.
That's the top one.
Yeah, that's the top one right here.
Bottom is Riverwalk.
Yes.
The bottom is Riverwalk, yes. So moving forward, we need to figure out in the sanitary district, working with others, have to figure out. First off, you have to have an IDEM certification or capacity certification. Certified by an engineer saying you have the capacity to handle this amount of homes. You can't get a certification to do that right now, be pretty hard to do. Until our system is upgraded and fixed. However, these people can pitch in. So, but so much as like, this, what happened in the town of Chesterton years ago, that's where I'm from, Rick, you know that. Wise way back then, which is now a Stratman Hill 149, their tap-on fee was $23,000 for sewer tap-on fee. That's because the upgrades that have to happen downstream to be able to support the sewer system from which they're discharging into. So everybody has a piece of pie that they have to pitch in. I don't know what those numbers are. That's for the engineers and so forth to figure that out. This is phases 2 and 3, potentially, of Riverwalk. Okay, this can be developed. It was once platted to be developed. There's actually stormwater at the end of this, back in this section, already installed. The roads are gone. The structure, they're there, the metal framing's there, and there's actually a pond in the back half. Okay, so at some point in time, this will potentially be developed. I believe it's going to be. So the city needs to be ready for that. We don't want to turn that away. So that's phase 1, 2. You also have the end of Miami Street here, a continuance. This was platted at one time, however, it's not platted, I don't think now. One guy bought it, changed it probably for stormwater fees or whatever, didn't want to pay all that, so we gathered it all together. But somebody could buy it once again, plat it, the sewer lines are already in place, the stubs for the homes, all that has been done. The end of 31st Avenue in Viking Village, where it's a dead end, that's actually platted as an extension to a cul-de-sac somewhere right in here. So it's platted already. So that's more extension, more homes are potentially built. So the sewer system is under capacity. I've worked with a lady named Cindy Fort, who is an engineer with American Point. She was an icon in the sewer industry for designing and building lift stations and so forth, but she retired. But prior to retiring, we ran the different numbers, looking at different avenues. What can we do? And what is the least expensive route for our money? With that being said, one of the first things that had to be done was Viking Village needed to be changed right away to get us out of the agreed order, because it was in the bottom of a river basin, basically, you know, had all kinds of issues. So we built that station and we built it big enough to be able to, before it didn't have no capacity, meaning that when the pumps were off, you had minutes before it would fill up the thing and be done. And now you've got issues. Now it's got hours. So, in a sewer system, you typically have a gravity system for which it flows out of your house down a pipe, and it flows by gravity elevation, but it gets to the point where it's so deep that it's not worth digging that deep to put the sewer lines in. So what they do is they put in a pump station. Okay, and that pump station will take once it's fills up a wet well like this cup, it fills it up. And once it tells the pumps to turn on, it pumps it down. But it pumps it through what they call a force main. A force main is full of sewer. If you poke a hole in it, it's under pressure, you're gonna get doused.
You're gonna get dirty.
So I'm trying to give a just sewer 101, I guess, you know, so you understand my concepts of what the city has to do. So if you go up, 2/3 of the city flows to the Central and Allen pump station, which is located Central and 94, just on the south side there. Okay, most people are aware of that. That pump station, which is right here, Central and Allen, that pump station pumps to 23rd and DeKalb, which ultimately pumps over to a flow meter on 15th Avenue and discharges to GSD. Okay, you also have a pump station, which I just had built in 22. It was finished up. Or 23 after I left it finished, it closed. The Crossroads pump station.
Yeah.
Crossroads pump station was sized for 3 large pumps. However, only 2 pumps were installed due to the cost. Okay? We had acquired just around $5 million from the Corps for that project. That's a huge investment because we were able to explain to them Bailey needed to be replaced to be able to develop the 21 acres by Bailey Street, which is right here. Okay. In order to do that, that pump station needed to be replaced, and it was an old can station. So we replaced that. But before I do 18th and Union, which is the 4th largest pump station the city has. It's got a 10-inch force main, it pumps a lot of sewer. Before I did that, I had Crossroads built to handle the flow from 18th and Union. In addition to all the property in the, I guess, the TIF area, which
Yeah.
is the north side of 94. Okay, so now we're at the point where 18th and Union that normally would pump up to Central Avenue, across Central and down Fairview basically, and so forth to get to Central.
And what's,
Yeah, that serves, 18th and Union serves everything from Dunkin' Donuts going east down Central on the north side. Serves that whole area. So we're gonna want to replace the force main or redirect the force main, because the force main actually at 18th and Union had snapped at least 3 times since I worked here. It broke, we had to have emergency repairs, costing money. So what we're gonna do is this 18th and Union station that sits currently at the end of an alleyway and 18th Avenue. It's an old can station. We had it rebuilt just recently to get it by. So all the guts inside there, the pumps, the motors are new. The control panel is new, so we could get this sound. So to do the force main comes in at approximately, this is engineer's estimates, are about 2.5 million. That station, when it gets replaced, will be moved over to the west side of Union, directly across from 18th, for which the city owns the land. There's a little sliver there, enough to create a new pump station and redirected it that, from that. But my thing is that just that pump station alone is going to be an additional $2.5 to $3 million at least. The Corps is not going to support any more financial at this time. As far as I'm aware, last time I met with them, they were like, okay, well, we got to help other communities for a while. And that's understandable because they've helped them. Yeah. Pulaski and so forth. So, I'm like, okay, well, what can we do at this point? Well, the only thing we can do is redirect the force main and hook it to the old pump station, which running the numbers according to the engineers will work. It will take all this off of the system, allowing you to build homes on the south side of the river and your developments. Now, there's also some things that have to happen where the sewer runs underneath Montgomery Street, or actually the river at Montgomery Street, to a pump station there. That pump station needs to be upgraded, and the force main needs to be upsized, as well as the gravity line that goes down Montgomery Street to Fairview. It's all undersized. And the reason I know that is because when I first hired in here, if you remember Cleve Hopkins,
Sure do.
the sewer part of it, we had SSOs, or sanitary sewer overflows happening. And I fixed, or I at least contained everything. I said, okay, Cleve, is there any more that I need to know about? He goes, no, we got them all. Next thing you know, I get a call, there's sewer running down the hill on Montgomery Streets because the main or the gravity system at the top of the hill flows down the hill. It's too small. It won't handle any more sewage. So we had to turn the pumps down a little bit so it would never do that again. So there is capacity issues in the system. I don't know where the city comes up with the 2.5 for the force main. or how that's gonna all play out. But I can tell you this, if you build homes, you're gonna reach a point where you're reversing what we've, fixed as far as infiltration, because the PBEs, which is population equivalent, is 100 gallons per person. If you got a home of 3 people, that's 300 gallons times how many homes, it just adds up quick. So we're just putting this out here right now. There's no other avenues. I've looked at other avenues. I've looked at upsizing Central. Upsizing to Cal Street, because those have to be done. You're talking, probably 5 million per station, and you don't even have the property to do it. So that's my presentation.
Yeah, so.
What needs to happen to
So we need,
promote development.
so talking about the black line, if we need to build. We need to build that black line. The brand new force main that would take all sewage, go onto this station and bring it over here to that station.
You might have to close up and reconnect to get a clear picture.
Hey, Dwayne, question.
Yes, sir.
When you redo the 18th and Union and you're gonna redirect, can't go to the crossroads and add that third pump there
Well, it's
to
current.
help?
It's currently sized with the 2 pumps to be able to handle 18th and Union. The
Okay,
third pump would come into effect when the TIF district gets developed. So that money gets put into by the third pump and so forth. The control panel, everything is ready to rock and roll for a third pump, but we're not needing that at this point in time. My thing is, we gotta get the line, it's gotta go underneath 94, which is a line permitting. We have to get access across properties, so forth. To directional bore the line, take it over to Crossroads and get it to that system. But it's been a long time in the plans and in the works. Working behind the scenes and trying to figure this out, because it's not an easy solution. Unless you got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, So that's where I put my work prior to 22. And this is where it stands right now. I bring it to everyone's attention because they want to build homes. People want to build homes. And I just don't want to see the city get into another agreed order because you can't handle it.
got a question for you.
Yes,
When the city was approached and the Riverwalk got laid out, subdivision got laid out, that 3-phase was gonna be a total of 165 homes. There's 15 homes over there. We did the Montgomery Street to kind of help with that when we upgraded that. So as of today, if the 165 homes would have went in, where would that sewer be going? Yeah, in the river,
I will say this.
in the river. But why wasn't, you weren't here then, I'm not blaming you. I was on the council and we thought that all that engineering with Bachman, not Joe Bachman, but this engineering firm out of South Bend, they were the one giving us the guidance to approve Riverwalk.
Yes, it was Rainbach was the engineer.
Reinbach. I'm sorry, Joe.
To clarify that, nothing in the Rainbox designs of any of the pump stations they put in, which is Montgomery, Central and Allen, 23rd and DeKalb, none of that worked properly. None, the flow meters, not a single flow meter. It has never worked. We've had them come back time and time again and said, well, the design of the station's messed up, it won't be able to work. You put it in, but at the same time, the core was so loosely guided, I guess you could say at that point in time, that whatever they built, that's the way it was, but I know Rainbach was sued
Oh, okay.
for the designs. I believe the sanitary district was awarded some money back then, not very much. I remember one day, just real briefly, Clete was pulling a pump at 23rd and DeKalb. And he calls me out of the blue, hey, the crane is bending over. Because they came with cranes. I go over there And I get the backhoe, because Shaw worked here at the time. I called Steve Shaw, come over here with the backhoe and a chain real quick, and he supported it with the backhoe. And I look at the tag on the crane. It says max weight 1,000 pounds.
Oh, boy.
The pump alone, dry weight, without any water, without a cord, is 1,200 pounds. That should tell you something right there.
Yeah.
Now, when I had the stations built, like Viking Village and all that stuff, I went over everything to make sure everything is supposed to be like it's supposed to be, and that it works. So
Thank you.
unfortunately, you just can't, do away, ask for money for the congressman's office to fix Montgomery, for which they already put money in. Central, same thing.
Yeah.
So here we are at a T in the road. And what do you do?
I got another question,
Home brand.
if I may. Every parcel, every residence paying a $200 tax for stormwater. For years now, it's been quite a while. Every parcel, commercial and residential. That money has helped with the MS4 program that can alleviate some of the infiltration of rainwater into the sanitary sewer? Or are we just using that money for other things because other things might be more important? I mean, it's supposed to be used for relieving some of that we pay Gary Sanitary big money to take. What we don't want is rainwater going in there, not sewer, and then paying them like it's sewer because they go by the gallon, just like our sewer department goes by water gallons used. So
Yeah.
have we done? I mean, I live on the west end. I don't see any storm drains going in anywhere, storm sewers, if you will. And people ask me all the time when they get their property tax bill. I says, hey, buddy, I'm the same as you. I'm confused too.
And
So-
we are one of the highest cities.
Yeah, we are. It's because we're way behind.
Or we pay them one of the most in the taxes, the 200. So
Okay, so if you look on the tax site for GIS for Lake County, pull up the converter place on Ridge Road, which goes to Hobart.
Yeah.
They pay over $4,000 a year. That same size building in the city of Lake Station, for 200 or whatever that is. That's the difference.
yeah, so the
Now-
business.
Well, the commercial properties pay more than the residential. They pay like 400 or 500, but
It's pennies
Yeah.
versus what other communities are paying.
Right.
Businesses and other communities are paying.
So we're looking at those fees for commercial here at Lake Station, and we can bring that to you guys. very
That
soon.
should be looked at. But on the other side of things, now the day-to-day operations of the stormwater department, I can't answer for that. Okay? It should, the grates and so forth should be kept clean and so forth and so on. That's not my forte. I helped you here, and most of you were, when I did the stormwater master plan.
Yes.
If you remember, I presented that to the board. And one of the projects in that stormwater master plan is a trunk line that runs at the end of, I think, a Shelby Street
Mhm.
area, runs through the woods to Union and goes to 20 or up 25th, right there by the school. Now, it's supposed to go up Vermillion, the Central, put in all new storm drains and so forth, all the way to the swamp area where overflow would be converted. So you can beautify the swamp into a lake, have it dredged, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, just to run it to the swamp came in very, very expensive. A lot of money. We were promised through, it was mentioned that the Little Calumet River Basin Committee would donate funds to this project as a whole. The engineers came back and said that they didn't like that idea after they said they did, and said they would be willing to look at supporting half of it. Okay. Well, we got to start at the river. So we started at the river and we worked ourselves back to Union Street and picking up some catch basins by the old Rich's gas station, which is floods all the time.
yeah,
That came in, I believe, at 1.2. million. And they were basically said, no, we're not gonna fund this project. At the same time, some other community got awarded something. Okay, it's just the way it works.
They're not too proud to beg. That's why. I've been to some of those meetings and people come in there really like with a project engineered laid out and lay it in front of them. That's what we need to do when we present it. Yeah.
Paid for the engineering.
Yeah.
We already have it laid out, ready to rock and roll. Now, the only thing is, what they didn't like was the idea that we would put in an overflow at the swamp to
Oh.
prevent it from flowing over on the 23rd, which I built the berm years ago because it would have impacted 23rd around the swamp by Wells Street.
Mhm.
They weren't into that because it's shared by Porter County.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, okay, well, then fine, do away with that part, just run the pipe all the way down to, what is that, Warwick Street? And stop. Stop right there, and then we'll connect it later in the future to the swamp and create a walk path around the lake, whatever. Anyhow, the 1.2 is being funded by the Stormwater Department right now. That line, as it runs through the woods from I can't remember, the Tippecanoe, I believe it is, or one of those streets. From there to Union, it runs parallel with the sanitary sewer that is clay tile pipe. Now, clay tile pipe is like a clay coffee cup. You drop it, it shatters. You dig next to it, it will probably crack or move, and then now you got all kinds of problems. And it's usually those pipes are infiltrated with tree roots. And knowing that it went through a woods, and I've heard that there was a major problem there years ago with tree roots. I said, well, if you're already digging next to the thing, replace
Replace it.
So they're replacing the sanitary sewer through that woods all the way to Union. Okay, so that it will never be an issue with tree roots in the system and so forth. So that's part of that project that is taking place, and you'll see the clearings is when you go down Union Street, you look to the west. You see the clearing, they're all have site at Folk School. That's all big concrete pipe trunk line coming in. Because you cannot plug in anything into your system on that end of town. It's all gonna come up by the dollar store. Water seeks its own elevation. That's 29th Avenue's elevation is way up here, 28th, 29th. And Central is way down here. So when you get a heavy rain, it does this with your water. Okay. And that's for me being out there in wee hours of the night, powerful rainstorms, popping manhole lids and seeing what the heck is going on in the system. We videotaped, we video camera, didn't find anything except for it's undersized.
No blockage.
What's that?
No blockage.
No. So as you all are aware, there's water issues on that side of towns, many others are, other areas. To even extend stormwater to 29th and Wells area where it floods all the time, you have to do a project upsize this trunk line. It has to continue to get to Vermillion. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen when they plug it in by the school there. And see what kind of results we get with just that alone, but the second phase is gonna have to happen.
Upsizing the trunk line is gonna help get water out faster.
Yes,
Right now, it's just too small, too narrow.
Hey, Rick, can I ask a question of them?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Brenda,
Because you're
go right
talking down-
ahead.
You're talking a lot down by my house, so I have to, because the property that the city acquired behind Bailey School, you are aware there's a huge wetland back there, so there would have to be mitigation done around
the
that.
far northwest corner of that property, yes.
But not.
Just the.
Where you're talking about putting a pump station.
Yeah, I'm not where I'm putting the pump station is not going where it's wetland.
It's not what?
Where the pump station would be located is not the,
You wouldn't be able to get permits to put it in there anyway.
no,
I just want to make sure I was aware of it, is all I'm saying.
Sure.
no, you've seen years
Because
ago.
that's what stopped the 12
Sure,
homes
you've seen
people
years
built
ago.
back there too.
Sure, you've seen years ago, because you lived down here, that years ago, on the left side of where 18th connects to Union, I cleared that spot right there. For the pump station, because the Corps will give funds to clear woods. Or a spot, so I made evidence.
Sure, it was right.
This was clear before people asked for money, but we never got the money, but it's cleared enough. other than needing to be cleaned up now, because it's been years.
Just making sure you were aware.
Okay.
Well, Brenda's talking about 12 Oaks, couple old timers in here like Gary Zostek and maybe Paul, Fred. 12 Oaks was an apartment complex that was gonna be over near Bailey School. And we had standing room only at meetings over that, as Brenda recalls. And some of you may know an old timer that liked to raise hell at the city. His name was Roland Fabian. Brenda worked for him for a while. He was a very interesting guy. But he pretty much stopped that 12 Oaks apartment complex from going in. I mean, we were hearing every excuse under the sun not to add a bunch of people, including sewer, stormwater, and so on, traffic. And it was just, it was a big project that they want to do. I think it was going to be like 400 apartments back there.
400 units.
Something, yeah. And just like with the Riverwalk, Dwayne, we were sold by the Lake County Economic Corp, a couple of guys that were running that show, that they came here multiple meetings and said all the engineering was done, everything was done, we're ready to go. 165 home, 3-phase, and it just went and just completely stopped. It wasn't because of sewer capacity, it was because of poor management. They ended up signing that property over to the city after they failed that. I hope I don't get sued because somebody can see this online, but they really dropped the ball. That didn't work out like they presented. I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what would have happened then. We would have had a lot of overflow. If them homes would have went in with the poor planning, we would have been in big trouble with item at that time. But anyway, you have more?
Pardon me?
You have more? More depressing news?
It's not depressing, it's reality.
Oh, and this is the reason for that sanitary loan that the sanitary district has taken from the general fund. They've been using dollars from that loan to help with that Crossroads lift station that was just built, the Bailey lift station, and now they want to use some more of those funds for matching dollars to do the force main project here.
Right, right.
So this is all the purpose of this sanitary district loan that's out there.
And just so people are aware, they may not know, the generator for Crossroads lift station alone is over $500,000 just for that generator.
We just have one.
Yeah. So, you know, it's expensive to build a big pump station. I think the congressman's office for their
Help,
help.
yep, yep.
You know, and it's a big part of the master plan, if you will, to make Lake Station utilities and so forth up to date and able to help. Because I don't think they, when they put this system in years ago in the 60s or whatever, wasn't thinking of this stuff.
Well, our population in the 80s were 15, we had 15,000 here. We're barely 13 now.
Right.
How come we weren't running over then? Or were we? And we didn't know.
I would say the reason, one of the reasons you are saying was actually in the documents that I read.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I can find them. Again, that in 2008, the stuff was overflowing, but the problem was nobody was reporting it.
Yeah,
Now it's a requirement. Every time there's a sewer backup and it's on the city's side that caused it, it has to be reported. And that's what
yeah.
Walter's job is to do, is to report this stuff, and make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted and so forth.
Yeah. I remember.
Any questions?
Anybody have anything for
I do.
Ms. Sanders?
I have a couple of questions. Thank you for the presentation, first of all, very informative. But I just want to make sure that I heard a couple things correctly. The first one, you said the Lake County GIS system, that anybody can access that information.
As far as Lake County's information, like your property borders, your tax documents, stuff related to that, not the
Lot
city of Lake
size.
Station's GIS.
There's a lot of.
Okay,
The city of
Okay.
Lake Station's GIS is still
work in progress.
It is a very.
Okay, so it's just
Yeah,
property,
we-
it's not the actual like sewer lines and stuff like
No.
that? Okay,
Map in
I
our
just wanted to make sure.
system that was pulled up with the mapping system, if you were to click, if you get into the system, Adrian downloaded a KZM file, which is off of Google Earth, files created, but that was dated back in 2010, 2012 era, when I was working this stuff. The latest version would have, if you clicked on Viking Village Pump Station, it would have drop-down menus with all the specs on how this station was built. So that's part of the requirements of speccing the lift stations when they're built, that you provide me electronic versions so that it's all tied into the system. It's like a virtual file cabinet, so you can find the stuff. Engineers can find it when there's issues and you're not searching in somebody's closet somewhere for paperwork that got lost. You know what I'm saying? So,
That was about the way it was back then.
yeah.
We had a big book down at the street department in one of the back offices, a big book this wide. And you turn the page and then just make the updates. And I remember when we were having a runoff in the Deep River and cost somebody his job because he didn't get it reported at
Still have.
that time.
Well, I think you're.
Upstairs.
So you got it still, Brenda?
I think it's upstairs.
I still
And
use it.
he's
so-
in there.
Do you really?
Well, if somebody comes to me and says, I can't, like Harry's doing a locate or something on a manhole, I can't find this, that, and the other thing. I do have a file cabinet down at the utility building that I will go through because there are some as-built in there that are
Yeah.
possibly not in the system, maybe.
Yeah.
Or I'll dig and I'll figure out on a map, at a scale, and so, 1 inch equals 100 feet, well, 350 feet should be another manhole somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tried to do, when I did Montgomery Street, or not Montgomery Street, Riverside Drive, all the sewers are in the back of the embankment down in there. And finding them things were hard. But when we found them, we GPSed them. And I also took many photos of where they're located. And you actually learn from years of doing this stuff that you, in the woods, you look for a clearing in the trees up high. Because if you see a clearing, that's usually where the sewer line is back. So
Yep.
many years of searching and finding these things so that if there's issues, Walter can access them with the equipment, of course, that was purchased.
so next thing, I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly. I did have a conversation with Walter Jamie about a couple of issues that residents had called me about regarding sewer and storm drainage. And so what you're saying is the project at Bailey is going to revert some of the sewage,
Redirect.
a lot of the sewage. Okay, so that's going to free up some stuff on the northwest side of town.
Okay, so the redirect of the force main is going to take let's say currently, 2/3 of the city's sewer, starting at County Line Road, okay, all the way down Central to 94 to the west.
Okay,
And then everything from the river to 23rd Avenue and even goes down by 18th Avenue by Brenda's, all flows to Central and Allen. Now, also Riverwalk has a inverted siphon under the river, so everything on that side of the river and that section flows to Central and goes out. Central can out pump to Cal. That's another rainbow design. Beautiful. I don't know how they thought of this. But Cal can't keep up. So at that point, I can't by law shut down a pump station. If we shut down the pump station and sewer overflows because you shut the pump station, now you've opened yourself up to some possible litigation because you manually did it. But if it,
Trouble with them.
yeah,
If it just fails,
Well, if it works, the design was bad to begin with. That's why it's doing that. So to answer your question, going back.
Mhm.
Everything from Dunkin' Donuts to County Line Road, in essence, from Central
Mhm.
to 18th Avenue, all will be off the system going to Central. That's a large area.
Piece,
Very large area.
a lot of homes.
It should, and it will stop that from happening over there.
So like the specific areas are 25th and Clay. And
Yes.
then also the south side of Central over by the Citgo gas station.
Okay,
Like
so
if-
that is stormwater related.
Right,
Now, the stormwater portion of that
that's the trunk line.
is a, well, front line, yes, and what they had done, I don't know who put that in. But it flows towards the city's sewer pump station, Central on Allen, so to speak. It flows there and dumps into that ditch. But when I videotaped it from well, starts, I can't remember if it starts at Lloyd or some.
Yeah, Floyd and
It goes
Central.
that way. So I'm videotaping this thing, I get to Clay Street. And I go into this manhole and I'm looking for the lower pipe. Where it goes to. It doesn't go to a lower pipe. You gotta look up. And the only thing I could come up with is that the contractor came across like a gas line or something. Put in a structure, raised the pipe up. So the water in that area has to come up to meet the exit pipe first. So you already have lost most of your capacity in the system.
Yeah.
Now, how do you fix that? Well, first off, we need to fix the trunk line.
Right.
It's a pick and choose situation. When I presented the master plan, there was nothing good about the system. I wish I could say there was. You have a lake. That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. And you can make it so that you can modernize the outfall of the lake in the future, hopefully, so that you can lower the levels. If you know a big storm's coming, lower the levels in time to get the water out so you can have capacity to hold it. But the line coming from down Marquette to the lake, for instance, takes a 90-degree bend off behind the VFW. But on the north side of the tracks there, you'll see stormwater come barreling out. But when you go to look at the old maps, it says in that manhole structure, it's supposed to have an overflow that goes straight to Four Winds Park to a ditch. It was never put in. It was never put in, so it hits this 90-degree, backs everything up on Central, because it has to take a left-hand turn. And they went all the way from that point, all the way to Grand Boulevard Lake with one manhole. That distance is too far for any of your cleaning equipment.
Yeah.
And it's too big of a pipe, and you can't videotape it, because it's so full of grit and sediment. That needs to be changed and fixed. So it's like, that's another major. And since, inflation has hit everything. What used to be hundred thousands of dollars, Service Street was like 250,000, if I remember correct, to fix that system, that short little run. That's probably 500,000 or better now. So it's a tough thing. I present the master plan. I think you stick with it. You look at what the next projects are gonna be. You can do small projects. Bruce Road is one of them. It really needs to be done. That road's wavy. I'm sure you've seen it. That's the stormwater pipe in there is in bad shape. It needs to be repaired or replaced rather. But whenever you do that and it connects to the river, you have to put in a filter system.
Right.
So add more money to it.
Well, we don't have to worry about Liverpool because that stormwater just sits in a couple of residents' yards until it sucks down into the grass and dirt. Well, it's not good for me because they're yelling at me about making you do something about it. Well,
I give you the answers. It's up to.
stormwater, I understand, yeah.
On the money.
But you're the brains behind the operation, in my opinion, because you've laid out master plans and corrected a lot. So we need things done over there that I don't think would be millions or thousands of thousands.
Okay, so Wisconsin Street's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a corrugated pipe, 24 inch. It's failed many times, sinkholes in people's yards.
Yep.
Back when I first started here,
Brenda grew up.
My dad's house, yeah.
just south of, or yeah, I'm sorry, just north of 34th, there was an old lady that lived on the corner there.
Curtis.
Do you remember who she is? She lived out, she had a big sinkhole in her yard. I'm like, I first started here, I didn't know what the heck's going on. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta dig this thing. Water's pouring in because the water table was so high.
Uh-huh.
I get down to it and it was a botched repair. And what I mean by a botched repair, all they did was threw riprap, which is big 6x9 limestone rock into the pipe, filled it up, and then put garbage bags over the top of it.
So we could afford.
Well, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Instead of cutting the pipe and splicing and.
Fixing it right, yeah.
But that pipe inside, in general, that, the bottom of that pipe is gone. But then you're talking lots of money,
Lot of work.
a lot of work. There's a lot of work. that
And
has-
that's, well, when they did the work over there, 9465 north, 94 west, Fred knows because he dealt with it at Rosser Lake for years. But when they did that project, they didn't do us any favor.
No.
That caused a lot of problems.
They didn't do you any favors by building 8094 over by 18th and Union. They did you zero favors, because that, I found photos, was all dry farmland before they built 94.
Yeah.
So when they built it, now the water has to come up. Now you're at the mercy, they won't respond to cleaning a ditch or pipe unless it affects 94 directly.
Right, right.
So,
Big mess,
yeah, it's.
big mess.
So I just have one more.
Really?
That's it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Talking.
Sorry,
serious.
Rick.
Hey, do your job, girl. Do your job.
So the last thing that I have for you is like, if you could, just for like 10 minutes after the meeting, I would really like to speak with you about 25th and Clay,
Okay,
after the meeting.
that's fine.
Okay,
Does anybody live in that area? All right, Chuck, you might want to stick around.
I'll say, well, the Calvin Central, we'd like to discuss that.
I mean, I didn't even mention that one, but yeah, that's part of.
Now that you bring that up.
Yeah, I mean, my yard specifically is part of the problem, and my neighbor right across the street.
Councilman Long, part of that problem is that we still have a lot of homes on that street that are to the same area of sewer with our gutters.
I know.
And that's one of the problems we have. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just happen to be out with walls 2 nights.
Yeah,
So. Mr. Chairman,
are you gonna follow up?
I'm just gonna say that, all these projects we've been talking about.
Yep.
Point out, these are all in master plans, and we are tackling one project at a time, and that's our intention to keep moving forward. One project at a time, so. I mean, 2/3 of the sewage go into one lift station is crazy. 75% going to one lift station is a lot, so. This project is a necessity, and we really need to take a lot of pressure off that one lift station, receiving 75%.
How often is that lift station going down
It doesn't.
with the overload?
It's not about going down, it's about capacity, the ability for that station to be able to pump,
Right.
okay? So the pumps that originally were in the old can station that's still active today, which should have been disabled, right? Because they built a new pump station. Retired, if you will. Those pumps came in at roughly 12 to 1300 GPM, which is gallons per minute to be able to pump. There was 3 pumps in that station. Okay, they replaced it with some bright idea of, I'm gonna put 2 pumps in there that only pump 900 gallons. And then for every 90-degree bend in that pipe, you lose capacity of pumping.
Yeah.
Okay, so that pump from Central and Allen comes up, pumps to the south, takes a 90-degree turn, goes about 5-10 feet, takes another 45-degree.
Big circle,
Huh?
big circle.
What were they thinking? I don't know. I can't answer that, but you've lost all your pumping.
We probably contracted it out.
So every time that you give me every rate, I'm gonna say They're 2.5 to 3 inches
Like
potentially.
we've had all summer.
Yeah.
It requires the old pump station to run. Now, it used to be, I don't know how Walter's doing it, but it used to be every Friday. You ran that pump station just for a little bit, make sure everything's working properly, so you're ready to rock and roll in case something happens. It was, that station does have issues as far as debris buildup on here. Okay, so these pumps work on floats and transducers, which reach the pressure of water as it gets higher. But it gets such a collection of debris around all these hanging things that it will actually rip the cables off the wall and break the cables. At that point, your pumps are not gonna work. You gotta be there and manually turn them on and lock it until floats and all that gets changed and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
Now, I used to do all that stuff, but
In your younger years?
my body does not support that anymore.
Thank you.
Adrian, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
Good. When you talk, there's always dollar signs coming out of your mouth. We understand though. We do. We live here. We understand there's issues. There's so many things that haven't been done that we couldn't afford, and things we did spend money on that probably didn't get designed right in years past. We can't answer for that now. I mean, we just have to move forward and get things corrected. We're gonna move on, if the department heads are done, to item number 7 is petitions. Going once, twice, 3 times, petitions are closed. Remonstrances, once, twice, 3 times, closed. Now we're at public statements. Fred, you had something?
I was just letting Dwayne know that when we get ready to do the viaduct on 37th Avenue, that I'm gonna take my guys to go help Dwayne over there.
Okay, great.
I'm just setting it up with Dwayne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
It's looking rough.
we had this great presentation. Why wasn't Walter here and why wasn't Frank here?
Camping. Vacation. They get vacations there.
Well,
Walter has a death in his family.
Yeah, Walter's wife's grandpa died. I mean, we know that.
It'd be
So,
nice, at the
yeah.
apartments.
Well, I would venture to say in their defense that they probably had a lot of input on what Dwayne and Adrian were presenting us tonight. But
It'd be nice to have them here since there is an apartment.
I don't disagree, but under the circumstances, I'll cut them some slack. I think Frank's on vacation. Lisa called, they're camping at their place, so. Hey, they're human. Everybody deserves a vacation. We all work.
But they don't get a
Deserve
vacation.
vacation.
That's an apartment meeting when they're not here.
Yeah.
We
I
would
got
have questions, augmenting what Dwayne just said, like to ask Walter.
Mhm.
and stuff.
On order, sir.
Point order, Fred. Come on. You know you gotta behave in a meeting.
What?
You know you gotta behave here. We're gonna move on. No other public statements. Fred, you could have came and said your name and address for the record.
It's okay, 14 East
We got
28.
you on video.
Back of your head anyway.
Call me 3168 Bruce Road. Good evening, everybody. My stuff is positive. The parade, and they gave you in the Parks for Gill Lake Station residents, 3-day swimming.
Yeah.
And the parade fireworks. What can you say? They were
Unbelievable.
fantastic. And everybody that donated their time, me and my wife appreciate it. We had a fantastic time there.
But we, all of us, the mayor and everyone, appreciate people like you and Kim for what you do and what you do for our city and volunteering and donating. It's very much appreciated. We love you for that. So, and I like to brag that you're from my district.
Yeah.
So close, our district.
I knew that.
We
was
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Anybody else? Gary, come on up. Name and address for the record, please.
Russia.
Jerry Zospek, 1923 River Lane Drive. That was a great presentation. But just a question, maybe I'm an idiot or not. If we can't build, who's left?
I was,
If we can't build any houses because of the sewage, can these homes be built with a septic tank? Or is that not allowed?
it's a law.
It's the law. That's all I need.
That's the part of stuff.
There are, just a little response to that. New Chicago, we got a representative park board manager, Joe. Nice gentleman, nice young man. We take New Chicago's water from their sewer. All the residents in New Chicago are on septic. We take their dirty water. They have to pay septic service to come out, pump out their tanks. I don't know how often it happened. I lived in my house for 15 years, never had my septic tank pumped, never had a problem. And it was mandated by the powers that were in charge back then, might have been your first term, told me I had to connect. And you told me no tap-in fees, and then I got a bill in the mail for $650 to tap in. But I think because that's the way they've been for so long, and we agreed to take their dirty water, I don't think items bothering them. But if it was new development, it wouldn't be allowed, would it, Dwayne? No new development, like a campgrounds, yeah. That's something a little different, but residential neighborhood, I don't believe they allow that anymore, to be honest. But good question, good question. Like I said earlier, if those 165 homes would have went in Riverwalk, we'd have been in big, deep doo-doo. It would have been a mess, really. Yeah.
We'd have more people paying taxes.
Well, we would have paid their taxes, but we'd have been paying them in a lawsuit because their homes were filling up with crap. But I don't think it was designed properly, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not an engineer for sure. So 165 homes, where we got 15, 16 homes over there, roughly.
We keep adding more.
Yeah, they've added a couple.
Over time, somebody's gonna develop.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
We're at unfinished business. Resolution 2026-01. Temporary transfer from general to sanitary was tabled. A couple meetings ago, then we didn't have a meeting because our video stuff wasn't working the last time we met. But we've gotten information, I believe, haven't we, Councilman Luna?
Yes.
On that balance that was due the 29th was paid.
Correct.
So what, I guess we could untable that. I don't know that it's gonna do any good because they've paid it. Right?
They still want it.
Well, what we would be doing was just giving them a money back out of the general fund to be
Just
used.
the four. They originally
Just the
paid
four?
2 of the
Right,
6.
right.
And they've done that for 2 to 3 years now in a
Yeah.
row, paid so much
Yeah.
of it. Then got a new loan for the lesser balance.
Right.
And they've done that each year. And then they did do it even before they came to you. They paid the 200. And then when it got tabled and didn't go, we had to meet the deadline in June.
By the
30th.
29th of June. Yeah,
So they got it. Even if they only got $2, they had to pay it.
yeah. They had to pay it.
So they
But-
do still want it.
But will this be written somewhat differently? Would this need to be written up
No.
somewhat differently?
No, it's the same thing as just saying that you're refinancing what the balance was and you're stating 400, so. It wouldn't have to, you could use the one that you got if you decide to read it.
Well, based on what we've heard and what we've seen, what you're feeling.
One of you would have to untable it if you want to do that.
Are you making that motion?
I want to see what they're looking.
I really don't. This presentation, probably, in my opinion, Dwayne, no offense to you or Adrian, but this presentation should have happened before we loaned you the 1.2 million, to be honest. And then you kept coming in short paying. You're agreed to pay back. Yeah, I know it wasn't you personally. I'm not pointing your finger at you. I'm just saying this presentation at that time of asking for the loan, because we were so in the dark on exactly what was happening with the money, Adrian tried to just verbally tell us things. And because I've been around here for 20 years, I remember some of the catastrophes that we've had and that we're probably going to have again if some things don't get done moving forward. And yes, Dwayne,
I just wanna say,
speak up so the audience can hear you.
sanitary district Because of the stormwater project, remember I had mentioned that the sanitary line is gonna be replaced next to it.
Yes,
Okay, so that is funded by the sanitary district, not the
Yes.
stormwater.
right.
So I'm sure that the funds that you're talking about are probably a portion of that as well. I don't know what that cost was, I don't remember, but it's itemized in the contracts as to how much that.
Well, for the taxpayers in the audience, several years ago, we loaned the sanitary district 1.2 million with the promise of repayment in June the following year. It didn't happen that way. They short paid it, asked for a new loan, short pay. Our financial consultant, Daniel, enlightened us on that. We didn't see the harm as long as the money when the projects were moving forward. They short paid it again this year, but not the 400,000 that we'd received the previous, or 300. They keep getting lower. They paid 4, then 3, then 2. Yeah, so we didn't get our money. And back to the general fund. There's money in the general fund, but we all know where that money came from. The water department sell. We aren't funded through property taxes. We're using the millions that we have left over, really, because it just went in the general fund. Everybody needs to know that. People want to know, have we blown the money? No. Everything, every dollar they're spending is on a project. We've had a couple of hasty purchases, like every city does. But we are going to need to do something to assist with this. Bottom line is, council, if we don't help with this by allowing this to move forward, when the caca hits the fan, you know who they're coming after. They're not going to go after Dwayne. He's been working hard to try to resolve it. They're going to come after the council because we didn't allow them to extend their loan till June. Would it be June 29th next year, or would it be the end of July, or
It's always.
June, end of June? Yeah. I've had a little change of heart myself, but I'm not making the motion. I'm chairing the meeting. It's up to you guys to make a decision right now, or do you need more information, or?
I don't really think, like, for me personally, it's not about needing more information. It's more about the process.
Yes.
Like you said, having this before.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely.
we're asking for all this money.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been fabulous. You know what I mean? Like, that, to me, it's more about the process. And if we keep on not following the process, then this is where we're at again. So what's to say, like, we're not gonna do it again next year? So we approve it, but then next year we're in the same boat.
Well, we will be.
Exactly.
They don't take enough in sewer bills to fund these projects.
Mhm.
We don't have enough homes paying a sewer bill. That's the problem. And there's always people coming to the Board of Works to get their sewer bill written off. I see the reports from time to time in the Board of Works meeting, 1,000, 1,300, 800. They always come up with some excuse that they had a pipe, it didn't go down the drain, all this stuff. They're very, very easy on approving that. And it's probably some truth to that. People do have things go bad in their homes, and water runs, burst pipes and so on. But I'm like you are. The presentation, in the back of my mind, I know there's millions and millions of dollars worth of work that needs to happen. And with our sewer bills where they are, as far as what we are charged for sewer in the city, are based off how many gallons of water we use per 1,000 gallons, how your sewer bill is paid. We every year increase the sewer rate that we bill by 3%. But the rate that Gary Sanitary increases us is more than 3%. So we're starting to head down the path of a Gary Sanitary District issue for short paying sewer bills. I have not been brought up to speed on that as the council president. I don't think anyone has. Our financial consultants never mentioned it. It's something that I'm gonna demand that we talk about during our budget session. It's gonna have a lot to do with what we approve in the budget session coming up this fall. We're due to start on those in July, correct? End of July. Okay. And yes, you have something?
I would like to say that I am for helping with projects, but I also am happy that it was paid back. And now if they did need something, to come to us and ask the amount that they need, not a 400,000 in an account, acting like there's a whole bunch of money there when there are a lot of projects that need to be done. And I do know that we do need to pay our portion of it. And I am okay with the projects that Dwayne is speaking about, but I think, and I don't want to speak for Rebecca, but if you bring to her what they're asking us for on these new projects, then she's aware of right now what you owe for a year. Like if they wanted
Well, the balance
100,000 for the one project, then of course, I'm sure,
per project?
well, for whatever is going on, be more
Well, this-
transparent, like Rebecca is saying.
This resolution that's before us tonight was for an
400.
extension of 400 because they paid the two. But because we didn't have a meeting, stop me if I go wrong, Brenda or Mr. Dalton. We didn't have a meeting because our streaming wasn't working, which is another issue that we need to talk about. She had to pay that money back by law, right, Daniel? June 29th, okay, because we did not refinance it or give them a loan or not a new loan, it's just extending their current loan. So where they are now, they paid the whole amount and they would like to have the 400. If we would move forward on this, that's what they would expect. Brenda would transfer money back to sanitary. That's basically what would happen, right, Daniel? The 400 would just go back to sanitary to be used for, keep the caca from hitting the fan.
So, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Not to put you on the spot.
Okay. You can
But-
put me on the spot.
I'm going to.
I've been there many times.
When did they call you about? this?
Never.
Okay, so, I mean, I guess my expectation is
Nope. Not
like
happening.
not calling everybody, but bare minimum, calling you as the president.
To
so
share
that
with you.
Can share that.
Or a
information.
very simple email
Email.
about what we're doing. That's all. Brenda's trying to help, but sometimes she doesn't get like every bit of the information. She's busy running the clerk's office, for God's sake. So, but to be informed on every time you guys go out and repair a station or do this, or, I know we're contracting a lot of that work,
Yes,
which I don't understand why we don't have anybody that can do some of these things that I'm all for local businesses making a living.
But when we're paying, we're not even 5 months in and we've already paid almost $60,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's more than what I make in a year. And that's insane. And we're only it was like 4.5 months.
And when I asked you about it last council meeting, you said we hadn't paid them that much.
That's
How much we paid.
We call them out all the time. Or every
Well,
time.
I mean,
How
if
much
you
did we
look, if
pay
you
him
just
last
look at
year?
May, there was
Mr.
like
Chairman?
7 or 8
I'm sorry.
calls.
Go ahead, Kelly. Kelly, did you have something else? I'm
I
sorry.
was just saying, just in May alone, I believe there was
Yeah,
7 or 8, just,
call outs. Yeah. It's
I'm
terrible.
sorry, not May. I'm so sorry. In April,
April showers.
5 in April alone. And one of them was
Yeah.
almost $14,000.
April showers.
All the rain.
This is
A lot of money.
crazy.
Well,
This is just this year, not including the past years. My
Yeah. A
mind
lot of
is
money.
blown
We could
away.
have sent somebody to school and trained them. But another topic for a different time. Another topic for a different time. No, I ain't gonna
The
listen to you.
taxpayers'
Can I-
money is
Can I
not,
say something now?
Kelly, you done?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Luna.
I hope people realize that when we give money, where some of that money is coming from, the water center. And that thing's just getting slowly chipped away at.
Yep.
And once we lose that, We got nothing to fall back on.
Right. Daniel knows that. Do you see him shaking his head?
And we see what's there right now compared to what was.
I'm glad that we invested a nice piece of that money because,
We have another thing I can tell you.
okay,
that I
great.
haven't spread with you because we don't talk about it, but we were able through our bank to get them to give us interest on our checkings,
Yes,
which we never had before.
yeah.
So we've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars just on the general fund,
Thank you.
including our CDs. So that was really good. We used to pay a fee.
2 CDs.
They're paying you to bank with them.
Mr.
You know
Chairman,
why? Because you got a little bit of money from the water sale in the bank.
how many CDs do we have now?
3.
3, that's what I thought. I said 2.
And for a total of, right up, I mean,
Well,
close.
they're $1 million each,
Million.
plus all the interest.
Yeah, yeah.
That I don't remember.
Yeah, we talked about investing more, but there was a need and so on and so forth. And
Just the way
so,
the rates are, it's just good to keep it in.
yeah, yeah. So we're still on resolution 2026-01, which is tabled.
It's gonna remain tabled.
Okay, we'll move on to, we're gonna skip A, B, and C. That's ordinance 2026-08, 09, and 2026-10, because we didn't meet the deadline for advertising.
No, you can, they're ordinances, you have to vote twice, you can
Yeah.
still vote.
We
the first
understand,
one
we
today.
understand.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we knew
You don't
that.
have to tell us.
okay, I thought you were talking about.
Yes.
Public hearing.
No,
Okay.
no, we're not on public hearing. We're
No.
down at, under new
Okay.
business.
Right.
Our feeling is the public hearing needs to come first. We're putting the cart a little ahead of the horse, the wagon, by doing a first reading. Really, because the public hearing is a reason for people to come up and remonstrate against what we're trying to do.
Do we just
So-
skip it, or do you have to formally table them? I'm not sure.
We are
I'm not sure.
no one's making a motion to move on it, so we're moving down
I don't
to,
know.
well, our attorney, we can ask her, we've done this before.
You want us to table?
There's no motion made, you just go to the next
All
item.
right, so skipping A, B, and C.
Let's skip them.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done this before in years past. We've got a lot on our agenda tonight. Because we didn't meet last time, but we'll move down to ordinance 2026-11. It's for an amendment to the employee handbook for exempt employees. First reading. Do I hear a motion? No motion. We'll move to item E, ordinance 2026-12. Amend salary ordinance, 2026 salary ordinance for police clerks and building inspector, first reading.
A motion to table ordinance 2026-12, amend 2026 salary ordinance, police clerks, building inspector, first reading by title only.
Do I have a second? No second, so we'll move on to item F. Ordinance 2026-13, amending the business license fee, first reading. What this is for the public, especially if there's any small businesses out there. An ordinance that was put in place not too many years ago, where each and every business in our community comes to the city in order to be legal and do business. And they come to the city and pull a $50 permit. Doesn't matter who you work for, what you do, you just come in and you say, I'm a small business like myself. As an example, you show proof of your insurance and your bond. You have to show your copy of your bond from the county. I don't even know if we ask for that from everybody. We just get the $50. We get an emergency contact number. The ask is to go from 50 to 150. And the council have talked via email, we've decided that we're not opposed to raising that fee, but not tripling the fee. So what we've talked about, and we need to talk here, motion to amend would be required for us to reduce the fee.
Okay, I make a motion to amend ordinance 2026-13, amended license fee from $50 to $75.
Do I have a second? Second by Kelly. Call for the roll.
Amber Williams.
Hi, discussion.
Discussion, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Miss
That-
Erica?
My question is, once we vote for that today, it goes in effect today, right?
It's an ordinance you have to vote.
Two
Okay,
times.
okay.
Two times.
Thank you. So does that mean that if a business hasn't paid for this year, that they will now have to pay the higher amount?
Depends on when you guys approve this.
That's,
And when they pay. They
but
have
once
to
it's
pay it.
approved, then they'll have to pay the higher amount for this year.
If they want to be legal.
Well,
But
that's my,
technically, the people that owe today are late,
I agree.
Yes.
Way
so
late.
they're gonna be paying a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah, they should have
Do
paid.
we have a late fee on that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I just wanted to make,
Doubles after a
Pretty big
month,
one,
triples
too.
after 2 months.
Yeah.
okay,
There's got to be some incentive for them to, if they just blow it off till March, April, June or whatever, just because. And they pay the same amount, which is what has happened in previous years ago. It's, you know, you got to have somebody out there trying to get collected. By law, if people don't follow the ordinance and you give them a couple of opportunities to pay and they don't pay, by law, their business can be shut down temporarily until they pay the business license fee. They have to be legal in our city. And the clerk treasurer sends a letter out December, giving people notice, don't spend all your money on Christmas. You got this $50 fee that you owe the city first of the year. So we get a second by Kelly and call for the roll.
Can I ask you a question?
Just more discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just a question about ordinances in general, and I don't know, Rick, Brenda, whoever wants to answer it. How is this, just in my newness, how is this supposed to work?
In what?
Like, are we supposed to get the whole ordinance or just the change to the ordinance?
I would just redo the ordinance as you amended it, and it's an amended,
Right.
the whole thing that would be changed. In other words, I'm not gonna scratch through it. We'll take that ordinance and say from this amount to that amount, the corrected amount that you amended it.
Right. And that's
We'll be
what,
voting on it, but I will actually if I can get it
Oh,
from whoever created
So the
it.
ordinance will remain like this, and there will be an additional page.
No, it will be changed.
change to what we made the first reading on. Yep.
One more question. How
Yes, Kelly?
businesses do we have that as a problem?
Well,
Okay,
this,
so-
you guys a list of them.
You did.
yes.
I didn't look at it. I was too busy.
I didn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that list, but was it quite a few? Was it?
Yeah, more than ever.
So then by tripling it, we're gonna have even more, it's gonna be probably worse.
Well,
I would
there,
assume.
I mean,
I think
if
Kelly
you're
has the
voting
floor.
not to pay it at $50, they're sure the hell not gonna pay it at $150. I mean,
well, the recourse to paying the 50, paying it on time is not to pay the late fee. And if we enforced it like we could, if we
Right.
wanted to, we go to the business, simply show them the ordinance and say, you know, you
Cease
got
and
10
desist.
days, to cease and desist. You can't be open.
They would pay it.
They pay it.
and
I mean,
Right.
because we don't do that part of it as good as we probably could. I don't believe that is a police matter. That could be just it's an ordinance, it's codes, you know. I mean, we take a police officer there, but I don't know that it's necessary. But anyway, when we get the revised ordinance, it will be with the
That
75.
will go
like-
out for your second reading.
Right, for our second reading.
Right.
Thank
Anybody else?
Adrian had something.
Adrian?
Oh, I was saying we suggested that price to be a little competitive. I was told New Chicago charges $250 for business licenses and so does the city of Hobart as well. So that's where that number came from.
Wish we didn't know that before.
Well, I knew that because I pay a business license in Hobart as well, but we aren't Hobart. We're Lake Station.
You
We
have-
don't have a lot of things in Lake Station that other communities have as far as fees, inspection fees and so on and so forth. We're trying to keep things somewhat inexpensive so people will come to our community, open a business. They'll come here and try to build a home or open their business up, you know. if I got a copy of an ordinance book from Valpo or Portage or Hammond or somewhere like that and shared it with you, you guys' jaw would hit the ground because of the fees. I mean, the fees are ridiculous. But, you know, they're prospering, you know, so I don't know how they do it. But I bet you if people don't pay, they go out and talk to them and get the money by some way. So anyway, is that it? Call for the roll, please.
Member Williams.
Aye.
Member Luna.
Aye.
Member Sanders. Aye. Member Long.
Aye.
Member Castillo.
Abstain.
Ordinance 2026-13 and business license fees, first reading. I do want to mention something that I forgot. And
Go ahead,
just
Brenda.
for you all to take into consideration for your next time, the ordinance that would amend the salary ordinance addressed two things. I'm not talking about the police clerk's one, but the building inspector.
Yes.
We have never paid one because Bob Novak used to do it, which means a lot of our stuff wasn't getting inspected. So we had hired a guy because we have the money there for them, but we haven't been able to pay him for the work he's been doing until you guys approve this. So he is inspecting things so that we are legal and not gonna get sued for things. So it might take into mind that if there's part of this you don't want on the next time, that it gets rewritten to keep
Separated.
just that one part.
Yeah.
Because that is important to get that done.
Well, I got a question for you.
Or you could just amend
I
it
know.
and take the other part off.
We amended the salary ordinance.
Yeah.
To eliminate the building commissioner because our commissioner quit, moved on. We eliminated that commissioner's position and reduced the salary to 25,000 for part-time building inspector. It's in the salary ordinance. What's the problem with paying him from that?
Well, that's paying him all the time. This is only paying him for when he does it.
Well, he doesn't work all the time. The only time he does any work for city is when he goes out and does an inspection.
Right, so he would only get paid per inspection as opposed to, like, if we only had a couple for him to do.
Sure,
We're
sure.
only paying him for that. But, you know, that's just something to think about. So if you do decide that you do want to do that, you may want to separate it from the clerk one. If you don't want to do that, separate them so you're doing what you want. But it's just something to think about. He will need to get paid, even if it is the other. I didn't even think about that, but that's good. This is
Yeah,
just what
we
did.
reduced that. We reduced that with the hope that the city would reach out to Indeed or any other company looking for a retired guy that actually had built something
Or a woman.
or, you know, that knew something about the trades, and we just wouldn't haphazardly, you know, put somebody in there not trained. And
It's something to think about then, if that's already, I didn't even think about that. I just knew we didn't have someone that we could pay that fee to, but we were asking someone to do it
yeah,
that normally didn't. So Adrian, your chief of staff, you could make that call if you want to just pay the guy from your.
And so,
pay the guy.
yeah, the intention was to pay him out of that building commissioner line item.
Well, it shouldn't be building commissioner in the salaries because we amended it to building inspector.
So the intention was to pay him out of that, but the ordinance doesn't specify a certain dollar amount paid per inspection. And I think that's what's in this ordinance, is to pay $50 per inspection.
What do we pay our other inspectors? Electrical, sewer? I don't have it right.
I don't do that.
It depends on the amount of the job. I think it's a percentage of the job.
We could probably get that. I think development.
Inspection?
Has a list.
But for these annual renewals, for these inspections, when you have to renew your business license, the ordinance doesn't specify an amount, so.
Well, this hasn't got anything to do with the business license. This is for the guy doing the inspection.
Which is.
If he goes out and
Which is
inspects,
part of getting a business license.
There are inspections for a business.
I know for a business, but not for the business license. Nobody's ever inspected me. I've come in every year and paid mine.
For the first time.
Your first time, you should have had an inspection.
First time.
That's the way I understand it.
It's not in the ordinance. It's not in the ordinance.
I'm not in that part of it when this all started coming up. It was just that it was always done by Bob, so no one.
Mhm.
You know,
No one knew
he
what
had
he was
salary,
doing.
so
I
no
get it.
one.
I
Because
didn't
when they
spec the
use this
laundry.
license, it does state on the bottom.
Yeah. How do you, what are you gonna come into my home and look at my computer? Cause that's where my business is. It's on a hard drive in my office. in a old bedroom. Sure. But that's not in the ordinance to come to my business. I work out of my home.
We probably gotta look at the form, because I know the form has a spot for, the way we get them back before we issue one is that someone signs off on it. And that's because of an inspection, and it used to
I
be.
mail you the check because you send me the letter.
It doesn't, what I'm saying is, any business license that gets renewed has to go to, used to go to the building department, to Bob, he signed off on it before we issue a
I've been
license.
gone for a while.
Now, maybe he goes, we know, Rick, we're not going there, we'll
Maybe.
sign off. Well, he's been gone for a year, so.
Yes,
Things are
Okay.
getting signed off, but we don't, we
no,
need something to be.
So who's signing off on it?
Nobody. You're
Well,
not doing it.
it was being signed off by the building department.
That's, so good point. You're trying to make there.
Yep, because that's where Bob used to sign off.
So who took over after Bob?
Nobody,
Carlos Jr.
So nobody signed off?
no,
Damien Getz.
the building department is signing off for it. I'm not stating that it's proper. Which
Well,
is
his
why
question
it's
is
important.
it's Dina signing off because she's the acting building commissioner. I don't know who gave her that title.
I seen it on.
Whatever.
He's not doing the inspections, so.
Correct.
But just signing off then?
Yep,
So maybe that should be separated.
Yeah, no, I agree.
well, it is on the form when there is a spot for
Yeah.
someone to sign on.
Okay. Okay,
We're gonna get in trouble.
yeah.
Okay, so you guys got done with 2026-13 by
Yes. First reading.
5-0.
No, she abstained.
Thing.
4
Who did?
yeses, I
Erica.
abstained.
Must have,
It's okay, we're talking.
I must not have heard that over there.
Right. I didn't do a good job tonight keeping meeting decorum.
Do better next time.
And I don't have a gavel. It disappeared, so I gotta use this. When you guys talk in meetings, you ask for the floor, please. So we're not talking over you. We had 3-4 conversations, audience, so I know we know everybody and we're all friends and that's why I don't really do that. But we've had mayors in the past, if I'd whisper to somebody, they'd call me to order. And I wasn't even talking out loud. So anyway, we're down to council comments, believe it or not, at 8:47.
Mr. Chairman, could we have our attorney talk because it was brought up to Brenda to us and about
Sure.
the law about the.
Oh, absolutely. We skipped over something.
Comments.
One of the things I was hoping that one of us, their council comments, were gonna bring that up, but we could just,
Let her talk first.
we could just throw it on our council attorney.
Sure.
And she enlightened us, after the last meeting was canceled. That excuse of the video streaming and from, system not functioning properly is not a reason to cancel a meeting. She looked at the case law on it and the statute. And I'll let her elaborate. I know we probably caught her off guard.
Yeah, I wish I had known. I would have brought my notebook.
Carlos, that's your fault.
It's okay. I'll just, you've pretty much hit the nail on the head, which is, for the purposes of canceling a meeting, live streaming alone is not the only reason that you can cancel a meeting. Now, if you have a technical issue that occurs that prevents you from recording the meeting, you are still fully within your rights as the council to conduct that meeting and either record it in a different fashion, or if it's not able to be recorded, there's also a possibility of doing an affidavit, as to the technological issue that occurred. It does not invalidate anything that happens during a meeting. If there is a technical issue that prevents it. Furthermore, if a recording is happening and say, for example, it was in progress and then during the middle of the meeting, we encountered a technical issue, again, would not invalidate the process. And anything that would be recorded during that time, it could be posted later. The meetings are required to be live streamed. And also recorded and then posted in a location where it can be accessed for a period of time. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I asked one question.
Certainly.
You can ask me and
So
I'll
this
answer you.
recording, yeah, is sufficient because we record every meeting. It's just not the
Not
visual.
video.
but
sorry,
as well.
What was your, I'm sorry, I
She
missed
has-
your-
So when you were saying about a recording, this is a record, it's just
Audio.
not the.
Audio only.
Certainly, and as long as it's posted, that would be fine. And again, if for some reason the video was not working for any period of time, even if it be a short period of time, as long as there's, documentation of that issue, and to the extent that, I mean, there's still a recording of what's happened here, by you being secretary as well. There's all sorts of safeguards in place.
And to add to that, we have a fine gentleman that records our meetings. He posts the meetings on Facebook, which isn't acceptable to the statute, but that recording or any video recording taken from a phone could be sent to our system to be posted, accessible through our website. That's the point we made. The second thing on that is, and I know I've mentioned this before, but it's obviously fallen on deaf ears. The mayor doesn't have the authority singly to cancel a council meeting. It's a council meeting. It's not a mayor meeting. That's the Board of Works. So if the mayor reaches out and we got a leak, we got no power, of course, we're all going to agree to that. But in the future, we would only ask that the chief of staff or the mayor, reach out to us and be sure that we're in favor of canceling the council meeting. I've gone to many meetings in other communities, the bigger cities, the mayor doesn't even chair a meeting. But some do, and the meetings go on, but the video, and if the mayor reaches out or chief of staff reaches out, or mayor secretary, who cares who it is, as long as somebody reaches out and you get 4 council people that are in favor or okay with canceling the meeting, because sometimes, like, we got a handful of people here tonight, typically our crowd is this big or less. Sometimes people come and they've got something on their chest that they want to say to the council. It doesn't happen a lot like it used to in my early years on the council. Brenda can attest. We would have people lined up trying to get to the podium to yell at us about this and that. And you guys are seeing why they were yelling, because things weren't done right out in the field and we'd have problems with stormwater and this and that and the other, right? So they have every right to come in a public meeting like that, a public statements as citizens of the city having the opportunity to come and, yell at me or Becky or Carlos or Erica. But they don't do that, and we're happy that they don't do that. So that's all we're asking moving forward. That's all.
But I have some on that
yes.
too, because basically I'm working for you as far as part of my job by notifying you about the meetings and everything like that. Now, in this particular case, the only reason why I did not go to the council first was because I didn't know what the law was.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted it to be confirmed at a meeting. The second thing would be, because it used to happen all the time and it doesn't, because most of the meetings that have been canceled due to no quorum, I've been told by the mayor, there's no quorum. Used to, it would be a council person or 2 would say, I can't make it. Then I see there's no quorum, then I notify everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just told there's not a quorum. So I could actually show up and there could be a quorum. I mean, I don't know. So it would be good that if the council reached out, if you weren't going to be able to attend regardless of the reason, even if it's just
Yep.
me. And then if 3 of you notified your 4, enough to.
Or the president could notify
Then
you
I
that
could
the 4 of us.
notify
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we notify the
So,
president.
yeah.
Yeah, we try to
I'm
work through
just
the
saying
president.
so that it's not coming from somewhere else, the direction for your meeting.
Yeah.
Because I've done everything you guys asked to do, put who's not attending, things
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah, that's fine. And you do a great job, Ms. Samuels, and you've been doing it a while. So you're good at what you do.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Jason Pedroza isn't here because he had,
Negotiations,
what?
negotiations.
Negotiations. I just wanted to make sure I said that because I was told that and I didn't make a comment
I
yet.
was too,
And,
but we haven't got the
Lisa's
council
on
comments yet.
vacation, so I'm just covering my 2 on this side.
Hey,
Sorry.
She started on her end.
So council comments,
So
Thanks
can
for coming out.
I ask a question about the?
council
meetings
comments are,
before
we're on
we-
council comments.
I had a question about the meeting.
Okay,
Okay, we'll wait.
No, no, you're up now.
Go ahead.
you're next anyway.
Yeah, you're up.
Go ahead, Councilwoman
Okay.
Sanders.
So, I'd like to extend my condolences to the Westmoreland family.
Yes.
My question regarding the meetings is, does that include like all meetings where we're transacting business and like moving money?
Are you talking about the live streaming requirement?
Yes.
Yes.
It's all meetings.
So
yeah.
it should be like Board of Works,
Yep.
redevelopment, the Parks Board.
So the statute, if I had the statute in front of me, I could refer you to it, but there's very specific ones and it depends on where you're conducting business also. So it varies. I can only really advise the council as to the council's business. And so as far as the council goes, I could tell you that live stream.
Okay.
So you're talking about all boards like Board of Works,
And-
Park Board, Stormwater Sanitary.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they have the meetings here.
They tried. They tried. You guys actually had a Board of Works meeting or some meeting when the stuff failed, right?
Every board works is live streamed.
Live
Yeah.
stream, yeah.
I believe the sanitary and storm already have that set up in their new building. Park might be the only one that's not. I'm not sure. Who knows, Place Miracle?
May not be required by law because they don't spend any money up there.
I don't know what the law is on them.
And then I guess my other comment regarding meetings is with the last meeting that was canceled, we did have one. Like, because
As a matter
some
of
of us actually showed up just to make sure that there wasn't any residents that came here like expecting a meeting. Because Facebook
Late, it
is
was
not,
late in the day.
yeah, it was kind of late and Facebook is not the only way that we should be.
Exactly.
So we just wanted to make sure that nobody showed up and, you know, there was nobody here to greet them. I would also like to extend a thank you to the Deatons. We appreciate your positive comments. Thank you for sharing those comments about the parade and the fireworks. Thank you to all the local businesses and organizations that participated in the parade. I do believe that it was successful. And, you know, we had people like, you know, our RF Superintendent Kevin Trezak that was, you know, walking in the parade with the RF band handing out water. So that's always great to see, somebody like Kevin out there supporting, our school. And
Mighty Ingots.
Mhm.
Oh,
Sorry.
And then and then the other thing that I have that I really want to comment on is, you know, if we can get a date for our budget meetings. I know there's been a couple dates that have been thrown out next week that no longer fit into my schedule. So I just would like to get something on the calendar for that because I'm, you know, involved in a lot of different things. And my calendar fills out months in advance. So it's hard for me to maneuver things around, but it's very important and it's something that I do want to be there for and be a part of. And learn as much as I can about it. So I would appreciate those dates, especially if it's coming up ASAP. And that's all I got.
Okay, one thing,
Yeah,
pick some dates and throw them out, I'll make it happen.
so we did pick some dates.
Okay.
They must not have been thrown to you. So, but
I didn't get anything.
Why don't y'all do it in the email and copy?
I need to
Dennis and
excuse
Bill?
from
Sure, sure. Drink that coffee. I know you gotta go to bed.
That's not what it's.
the 13th and the 15th were dates in particular because of a birthday, my husband's birthday, so. But yeah,
Anything else?
nope, that's it.
Mr. Luna?
hey, good. Thanks for people coming out. I know it's kind of a lot of stuff on this agenda, a lot for us to swallow, try to figure out. I'm glad you spoke a lot about it. There's different ways to look at it. It's like, who determines that they paid 300,000? It's us at the end because we say, okay.
Yeah.
But we have to, the people don't, maybe they're not listening very well, or they don't really realize, but we're gonna be in a crunch and we know it. And we know doing the budget's not gonna be good. It's not. And people think that, you know, we have deep pockets. Doesn't work like that. And with all that kind of stuff that's important, And the building where the guys are working, where the roof's all being held by scaffold, it's kind of pathetic, but I mean, we have to come up with something, but we have to be smart because I think there's a lot of things that should not happen like it's been happening as far as spending on certain things, but that's my opinion. Nobody else's. We had an issue, and myself and Dwayne talked. I happened to talk to a couple councilmen. I didn't reach out to everybody, so it wasn't because I didn't want to, it's just they were talking about something else outside of the city. And they're brought up to you, if anybody, Brenda, about the workers working, painting curves and all that, and hot. Nobody ever stated that. We didn't say the city supplied them with water. We just felt, let's go buy them Gatorade, take it to them. Took Gatorade 3 days in a row. Purchased it, left it low key. It was not a big deal. Did somebody post on Facebook that we voted not to supply them with Gatorade and water, wherever that came from? We have no clue. Couple people answered,
Somebody just mad.
and I did answer also.
I knew you guys did. I was there
So,
when someone.
But
came down.
it's not, it's just because we felt like it. Wasn't for no political, no nothing. There was, no, we don't need, take pictures. No, it was here. Here's a couple coolers. The city has coolers, they have their water, but we want to throw some Gatorade to help them out because they're all over doing different jobs. And we happen to be able to do it 3 days in a row because I could take it to them. I had, at the time, I couldn't take it on the 4th day, but it was nothing outside of that. So people that get bent out of shape because of this or that, no. That's why we don't like to say nothing because people drag it on that you're doing it for this reason, that. No, I worked in the mill 39 years and I know how it is to work in a blast furnace when it's 100 degrees outside. And there's no way to quench that thirst. So anything to help them guys out, And
Yes.
at one time, my son and a friend of mine volunteered and we painted all those poles red, white and blue.
Remember?
And it was 90 degrees every day,
I think I brought you some Gatorade.
You might. You said you were too old to work, so I understood. So,
I
but
did,
either way, I mean,
several.
that's all it was for. It was strictly because it was hard and we know it and they were making the city look nice for 4th of July and the parade. And that's all it was, appreciation for them being out there. I know they don't make big bucks, there's summer help and, and just something that we felt. That's all it was.
Several did tell me because I'm in the clerk's office and mentioned that they appreciated the council doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
They were very appreciative of it.
So, but that's all it was about. Outside of that, like I said, people better be prepared for this budget meeting and hopefully we have some good ones this year because the past couple of years we haven't had no participation, but Josh, so.
Trying to get out of the way
Thanks.
for you video and to see these
Ma'am,
people.
it's my turn to talk now.
I'm trying to get out of you guys' face so they can see you.
Good. I know.
It is nice to see a little bit of a crowd tonight. We don't get to see that very often. Very nice to see that. Our deepest condolences to the Westmoreland family. He did a lot of service for our city and really appreciated. Also, Dwayne, again, every time I call you, and I know when you pick up that phone, you're like, again?
Does that to me too.
And I appreciate how quick you are, especially with the constituent that I had that she moved in 2 months ago and begged for a green can. Finally, her dad lived 2 doors down. Thank goodness he was able to help her out. And you got it the very next day. And I've never seen someone so ecstatic over having a green can. And she was just, yeah. And then, of course, with you guys being as busy as you are, and then with my pictures of high grass, and I feel bad that I have to bother you, but when I'm getting complaints, I have to do it. I have to tell somebody so that I'm doing my job. But I can't thank you enough for always being Johnny on it. I just can't thank you enough. And you really never sound mad, so. Or irritated, and you should be. I know you're busy. Also, I do believe we did have a great 4th of July. It was great. Thank goodness the weather stopped. I mean, the parade was iffy there for a little bit. But glad all that worked out. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words today.
No.
again with stuff. Transparency, I mean, I don't know how many times we actually have to do this, you know, a lot of this stuff on the agenda, again, we work full-time jobs. I mean, like tonight, I worked overtime. It's unexpected. I never know when I'm going to, but we all work full-time jobs and most of us, some of us have to travel for jobs, you know, so emails are, I mean, that's a one shot deal. And you send it to everybody. And we all can respond that way. It's just so easy just to let us know what's happening. Let us be a part of it. I mean, that's what we are council people. We should know everything pretty much everything that's happening in the city. There's nothing worse is to get a phone call and they're asking you, well, why is the road closed? It is? I mean, like no email saying, hey, 28th is closed for the day because of this. That's all we need. That's it. Just that way, in case a constituent calls and says, hey, why is this closed? We can at least answer and not have to, well, let me find out, you know, and it's aggravating. It's very frustrating to us because we always have to ask, stop what we're doing because we couldn't get a quick email. It's silly. It's absolutely silly. I don't know how many times, I swear, I feel like I say this every meeting. And then that's why you guys are probably getting frustrated with us with the agendas. We're not approving things because we don't know. We don't know. You know, it's all we ask for. That's it. That's all we ask for. It's just some transparency. Or the phone calls the day before. No, that doesn't work either. We need time to be able, one, we might get the phone call the day before, but we still got to talk as a council. So, but my rant's over. A little bit of frustration here tonight, but thank you guys all for coming out. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay, well, I again would like to say thanks to you that came tonight. We hope we didn't bore you too much with some of this back and forth stuff. Poor old Adrian, he seems to be the guy that takes a lot of the heat.
Yeah.
And I love Adrian like a young brother. He does good. Dwayne's excellent. All the guys in the city work hard for what they do anything and everything they're asked to do. The transparency thing that Kelly's talked about, Becky's talked about it, I've talked about it, Jason, Carlos, we know that it's hard for you guys to stop and go in and sit down at a computer because something's gonna happen, but things that are planned out, you know, in advance and a little bit more wording in an ordinance amendment or a new ordinance, it just says this is going to this, and that's not a lot of explanation. That's kind of where we feel that there needs to be a little bit more information included. Because they'll call me, being the old guy on the council, and I'll say, you know, I'm scratching my head reading this ordinance. I'm looking at Daniel, but I don't mean to put blame on Daniel. Daniel does his best to try to help out the city. I don't know who's cheaper for writing ordinances, you or Frank. I don't think either one of you are very cheap, but anyway, you do what you got to do, and you work. We know you work for the administration. You don't work for the council. We need to be working as a whole for the residents. That's who we need to be 100%. We need to make sure that they are good, not just at election time. I mean, the whole time that we're in office, we need to be working every day, 7 days a week for what's best for the city as a whole. We've talked about a lot of things tonight, and I really appreciate you guys coming and putting the presentation on, even though it wasn't on our agenda. In the future?
That was my report.
Yeah, that was your report? Okay, well, we'll let you slide this time. But we were interested in seeing what we're doing. I got a question for you. I wanted to ask you earlier. Is the air conditioning working? I'm sitting here boiling.
It's hot. It's on a timer.
Oh, it's due to be off because we're here so late, 9
I was
o'clock.
gonna say it's on a timeout.
So you folks that came, the Deatons, everybody's thankful for what you do. The fire department, they had engines and ambulance. They had the police department, you know, again, tonight, We don't have a sergeant at arms here. We've asked repeatedly for a police officer to be at our meeting. And it's part of our agenda to have a sergeant at arms at our meeting. We had 25 of them at a couple of meetings ago, so we know that they're available to come. So we would expect that. And I know they have to get orders from headquarters to come, but I don't want to take anybody off the street, even if it's a reserve officer. That's acceptable to us. So, but an officer at our meeting, it would be great. I know the department head will be watching the video. I'll probably get a call tomorrow. I hope I do. And I'll reiterate that again. We would expect an officer at our meetings. And I did not hear from the mayor, but I did hear from Councilwoman Krebs and Councilman Jason Pedroza. He's at work he's a union rep at his job, and Lisa's on vacation. Like I said earlier, everybody deserves vacation time. So the agenda was pretty full. We passed on a few things tonight, and some of you might be going, what'd they do that for? We had 3 ordinances on our agenda tonight that needed to have a public hearing, but the advertising wasn't done in advance
It
enough.
was, but because.
We canceled the last-
So we had
yeah.
to re-advertise.
Re-advertise, correct.
And you need more
Correct.
time.
So the public hearings, when we call for a public hearing and you're in the audience and you've looked at the agenda either online or at the front door, or somebody's posted it, Eric likes to post, some of the other council, they post it. So you know what's up on the agenda. Public hearing is for you to come and state your stance as a tax-paying resident on how you feel about these things that are going to require an additional appropriation, which means more money, okay, appropriated for what have you. We had 3 ordinances tonight, and we'll address those obviously at the next meeting, because the advertisement and the public hearing needs to come before we have a first reading. We have a first reading on it, and we all vote yes or we all vote no, and you wanted to speak in the public hearing, you already know where we are. You're going to say, forget it, I'm not going to go speak against or in favor of. They've already voted the first reading, so it's not right to do that. So that's why we didn't do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I want to admit, I've never thought of that. I
Yeah,
love that.
that's why we have a public hearing. If you haven't paid for your business license for 2026, you better hurry, because it's gonna go up. So we got a few other things. You all right, young lady? Okay, all right. We have a few things to talk about before our next meeting, and I hope we get it all resolved. Maybe a couple of us could meet with maybe Adrian, the mayor, and maybe if Daniel's available one day before our next meeting. Get some clarity on a couple things. That's all. So we're not like lambasting somebody in the meeting. It's never good to do that, but sometimes it's required to get a point across. So that's my feeling on that. Budget dates, budget meeting dates. The mayor, it's his budget. The mayor and the financial consultant and the department heads, they sit in a room and they hash out what they think they're going to need for the next year's budget. Daniel tells them, what are you smoking? Because you're asking for way more money than we're going to get in property taxes. So they hash it out. They have a meeting. They work it out. They put a budget proposal, is what it is. It's a proposal. It comes to the council for review prior to the budget meeting, not the day of, not the night before, in advance. So we have an opportunity to go through each of the departments, compare it to this year's budget. Please, that's what we would expect. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. A little advanced, getting that budget proposal. So we have an opportunity to look it over, talk amongst ourselves. We have a group text. We text pretty regular. So that's what we would ask. And the dates, I remember that we that were out there. I believe several of us commented we could do the 15th, but no, not now, because we never got confirmation on that. So I believe we need to come up with dates we're available or find out when Daniel's available because he assists the mayor and Adrian with the budget proposal. Have you got a budget proposal together to present to the council? I'm not asking you to give it to me right now. I'm just asking, have you and the mayor and the department head put a budget proposal together?
Yes, we have discussed.
It's ready to go?
It's in the process.
Okay, so when it's not in the process and it's finished, would you mind sharing that with me to share with the council, Adrian or Daniel? Okay, all right, well, I think that is a relief for some to hear, especially me. Old, Gary and I were on the council, Mr. Zostak, he was a great councilman, 2 different times, he served, he's like Trump. It wasn't consecutive, he took some time off and then came back to the council. But we met and had 7 or 8 budget meetings. We had department heads at the meeting. The last couple of years, we've not done that. We haven't gotten.
We tried.
Well, we can't make anybody do anything. We're just council. We're not part of the executive administration. But we can ask and hope they'll cooperate. If not, then they don't. So whatever. We can't do anything about that, but we can only ask. But we used to have budget meetings and they got pretty entertaining, I would say, because we try to do those in the mayor's at the conference table, and we'd have residents around the table talking while we're trying to work on a budget. But they're interested because it's their tax money that we're talking about spending. And they want to know. So anytime we use the word transparency, it's like because we don't know, and Ms. Sanders is right. Many, many times over the years, I've been called and asked, why in the hell does the city do this? Or why in the hell does the city do that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, they're doing this and that. I'm like, well, I'll reach out to Adrian or Dwayne. I'll try to find out and get back to you. But things happen like that. And I don't know. I don't expect to know everything because I don't work at the city day to day like you fellas do. And
Day to day, and it happens all the time to me.
yeah, so that's all. That's all I say. It's hot in here. I'm going home jumping in the pool. You're all welcome to come.
What's his dress again?
Clothing is optional for the female. No, I'm kidding. I would just say thank you for coming out and being a part of our meeting. We all want the same thing, and it's what's best for the city. But when we're the ones that are approving the spending, which is what our council job is, it's great that we know what we voted on to allow monies to be spent. That's all. And sometimes people think there's some purpose or reason or vindictiveness or something that's going on. It's not being aware of what's happening so you can answer to our constituents. I get calls from people in all the districts. And I don't care if you live on County Line Road or in Kelly's district or Erica's district. I'm going to answer the phone and try to tell you what the hell's going on if I know. But I don't always know. We've been on the council 20 years. You should know everything. I don't. I get yelled at because the mayor isn't on top of certain things that the residents said for years and years he was on top of. Other mayors were on top of this. They enforced our ordinances. They stayed on top of things. I didn't get near as many calls in years past because I've been here for a long time, as most of you have. And the infrastructure improvements are happening that have needed to been done in many years in the past. But the overall look of the community, in my opinion, is lacking. It needs work. It's declined, in my opinion. I've driven one end of this town to the other, north, south, east, west. Any day of the week, I can just point out 25 or 50 ordinance violations, only because I've read the ordinance book and been a part of voting on these ordinances. So we have to do a little better job because people are leaving. And what we get, if anybody's a renter, no offense, I've rented myself in the past. But what we get is old timers, homeowners are leaving. And we've got guys coming into our community and buying up these homes. And they don't care who they put in the home. It's just a fact. And we still need to enforce ordinances, and if people aren't aware of an ordinance that they're in violation of, they need to be. So they have a little bit of time to correct that. And I could go on and on about it, but I know you're tired of listening to me. So I'll say is our meetings are 7 o'clock, the second and the fourth Thursday. And if we ever have a meeting that is, canceled and for just cause, we don't have to wait 2 weeks. We could call a meeting for the following Monday or Thursday or whatever we want. As a council, we can do that. We don't have to wait. If there's something very pressing that Daniel or Adrian needs to get before us, we don't have to wait 2 weeks. We don't have to, by law. We could just call a meeting, as long as we give Brenda time to advertise. So if we need to do that on some of these things, I'm fine with that. But that's all I have. And I really appreciate you guys being patient and hanging around, not getting up and walking out on us.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'll entertain that. Erica, second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sure, it's all about the hot dog.